I'm Wendy Gilroy, and this is Dr. Camille, and she's a coach for busy mums, and she focuses on wellness. And I focus on supporting mums as well from a counselling, therapy, and a coaching perspective. We're here today to talk about the identity shifts that all mothers face in motherhood. So, welcome, Camille. Hello.
Hi, Wendy. Welcome, everyone. We're really excited to have this conversation.
Yeah, we are, because it's a huge conversation and it's one that impacts every mother out there. And I think one of the most unexpected things that happens to mums is that when they become a mother for the first time, although it can happen after any subsequent children as well, is that there's this huge shift in our identities. And sometimes it's so big that it literally rocks our world. And part of that is matrescence. And that's a word that a lot of mums probably aren't aware of until they're in the thick of motherhood. Although I think it's more spoken about today than it was
I was not aware of it, but
70s.
that was 8 years ago. When I thought better about my identity shift, I had no idea about what I was
Yeah.
going through and no awareness of it. Yeah. And the
So,
word matrescence, I only heard it like a few years ago.
yeah, right. And so your eldest is 8.
Mm.
My eldest is 14. And so going back a little bit further, the support for mums was really minimal. And it was really difficult to find services, um, online therapists, online coaches, counselors. It just didn't really exist. There were a couple of large organizations out there for mums, but no one was talking about it at all. And probably similar to yourself, when I came across matrescence as this huge transition that happens for mums, from the moment that we conceive, really, and how it changes us on every level, emotionally, psychologically, physically, hormonally, relationally, in our relationships, and spiritually as well. There's just so much in that that mothers would really benefit knowing before they had their babies. What do you think?
Yeah, I was really like, I wanted to ask you what was your experience, your own experience of motherhood, because when I think back on mine, knowing everything that I know now about matrescence would have really helped me. So yeah, what was your experience of being
Yeah.
first mom?
Oh yeah, look, it's huge, and it's so interesting to look back and reflect on that now with all of the knowledge and the experience I have in supporting mums, over the last 10 years or so. I think I remember being in the corporate world, working full time when I was pregnant with my first, and thinking, oh yeah, okay, like you look around to the other mums who are back at work and think, okay, so I'll take maternity leave for a while. I decided to take 12 months, and of course, the body's changing, the hormones are changing, and you have this expectation that you're not going to get much sleep once you have a baby. But really, beyond that, there wasn't really much that I was thinking about. I had intentions of going back to work and basically, in the way people used to say, bouncing back, um, and taking back my corporate full-time role and juggling motherhood. And that certainly is not what happened for me. So it was the unspoken changes, really, emotionally, psychologically, socially and relationally around me. My values had changed, something I hadn't really expected or given much thought to, because you don't know what you don't know when it comes to having a baby and being a mum. Yeah, I didn't realize how much of a toll that sleep deprivation also was going to take on me, and how that would have shifted things in my life and change not only what I wanted, but what I needed to be well, and to live my best life as a mum, as a wife, a daughter, friend, all the rest of it. So yeah, it was huge. And it really sort of put me on that path to thinking about, well, who am I now? because my identity had changed, and that was something that I was not prepared for and wasn't expecting. But it put me on that path to supporting mums and doing what I love doing now. How about you?
Yeah, I think, I mean, I was similar in the sense that I was completely unprepared, and I had this ideal idea of what I would be as a mother. And I don't know why I was thinking that I would just overnight, just because I had a baby, become a completely different person. Like that I would be able to regulate myself and always be calm, which has never been me. That something very funny when I think about that now, but I had these expectations that, okay, if I'm a mom, then I need to keep a house organized for my child. I want the house to be nice, to look nice. And my house had like my room when I was a child, then when I was living in shared household, it was always messy. It has always been messy. I've always been messy. So how would I become organized like overnight? It was completely unrealistic, and I thought that, yeah, I had just this idea that I would somehow just go into this new identity of being a mom effortless, which when I think about that now,
Mm.
and I think I don't know if it's the same for you, but I recently heard another woman talking about that. And for me, that was really big, is that the relationship with my mom, it really highlighted the difficulties there. And it actually also, it was a motivation to go to therapy, like having my own child and not wanting to repeat the same patterns that I had.
Mm.
But through this process, it was also making peace with the relationship that I had with my mom that I would have liked to have, and I was grieving this relationship that I would have liked to have, but bringing awareness to all that. So with the matrescence, for me, the big part was also managing the relationship with my own mother while becoming a mother myself.
That's a really big one, and it's probably more common than a lot of mothers think. It's certainly something that I've heard come up in therapy too. And although my relationship with my mum is different and unique to yours, I do remember becoming a mum, and it was almost like a switch kind of turned on in my brain where I saw my mum in a completely different light for the first time now that I was a mother. Um, there I was, sleep deprived with one little baby, and I was looking at my mum who'd come to help me for a few nights, and she was a mother of five, and she didn't have much support around her at all in terms of a village raising her children, although she was at home for many of those years. But I looked at her and just went, oh my gosh, like, how did you do that? Like, that's just incredible. And I was there with this baby that wasn't sleeping, feeling like I was struggling, and just, really just finding it so hard to work out how to be a mum in those early stages. So there's so many layers to becoming a mum and trying to understand who you are and how to be a mum. But the only guidepost we have often is our own mother, in most cases. And so we look at our mums and think of them and the experiences we had and how we observed them. And there can be expectations, unspoken expectations there around how to be, a good mum, what to do or what not to do based on our own experiences. And it feels like a minefield, in terms of trying to navigate that emotionally and psychologically and relationally with our own mums too. Yeah, it's a big one.
It's a huge one, yeah. And the relationship within the couple also is because there is a first-time dad.
Again, another huge
So
one. Yeah.
So everyone have to manage their whole like role transitioning to a new role, and then there is how we're gonna operate before we are partners, and now we are parents. So I mean, for me, it just highlighted the issues in the relationship.
Mm.
But I know that for many couples, it's also like a way, like it's a step further that you really grow together because you really have to adapt.
Mm, yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, just reflecting on the mums I've supported over the years, it's a really huge challenge, you know, when you sort of both become parents overnight. And for most couples, and again, it's a generalization, but they don't necessarily talk about or really understand the depth of who they're going to become. And you can't
Mm.
possibly know that until you're
Yeah.
in it, right? So it will throw up and highlight challenges from your past as a child and your partner's past as a child, and the way that they were parented and raised, and the values and the discipline and the approach to parenting and communication, and all of those things can just get so messy and muddled. And it's just not something that you can necessarily see or comprehend until you're in it, in the thick of it together. And I think that's why a lot of parents with young children will hit really challenging years, 2, 3, 4 years into raising their first child, because there's a lot bubbling under the surface that takes time to kind of come up and really present itself for what it is and what the challenges are that need to be worked through. But communication at the end of the day is so important. And as you said, growing together is so key, because without that, that disconnect in the relationship will grow and can create problems down the track as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Camille. It's been a really interesting chat around matrescence and our shifting identities in motherhood, and some of the challenges that a lot of mums out there have faced or are facing. I appreciate you connecting with me and having a talk about all of that today.
Thank you so much, Wendy. I think that this is a really important conversation, and yeah, no, like it's a challenging time. So becoming a mom is really not easy, and it's great to know for new mothers that they're not alone.
Great. And if anybody wants to connect with you, where would they find you, Camille?
I'm really active on Instagram. So my Instagram handle is at dr.camilleg. And you can also find my website, which is www.drcamille.au. What about yourself, Wendy?
I'm also on Instagram. I'm at the handle mindmomentum_mums, or my website is mindmomentum.com.au. But we'll put all of those in the
In the show
links
notes.
below, so anyone can click on those and find each of us or both of us, and we'd love to connect with you. Bye for now.
Bye.